and the President of the United States is considering pardoning Diddy.
What happens when one of hip-hop's loudest voices steps in to stop a former U.S. president from helping a fallen music mogul? That's exactly the storm brewing between 50 Cent, Donald Trump, and Sean Diddy Combs. Over the weekend, 50 didn't just watch from the sidelines, he jumped into the conversation, and his message was loud and clear: don't let Diddy off the hook. It all started with a single question tossed at Trump: would he consider pardoning Combs, who's now facing explosive federal charges? Trump's response seemed casual, almost dismissive. But for 50 Cent, it wasn't a laughing matter, and is making sure the former president knows exactly where he stands. What followed was a flood of Instagram posts, misquotes, and fiery clarifications. But beneath the surface lies a much bigger story about influence, loyalty, and the lines even power players won't cross. The spark that lit the fuse came from a clip that quickly went viral. During a press interaction in the Oval Office, a Fox News reporter asked Donald Trump whether he was considering a pardon for Sean Diddy Combs. Trump's reply? He claimed he hadn't been following the trial closely, but added something that raised more than a few eyebrows: he really liked me a lot. That one line set the internet ablaze. To many, it sounded like Trump was leaving the door open that he might consider helping Diddy simply because of their past interactions. And for someone like 50 Cent, who's known for calling things exactly how he sees them, that didn't sit right. He took to Instagram almost immediately, posting a screenshot of an article reporting on Trump's comment, and didn't hold back in the caption. He said some really bad things about Trump. It's not okay, 50 wrote. But that was just the beginning. Behind those words was something deeper, a warning, not just about loyalty, but about responsibility. For 50 Cent, this wasn't about personal beef. It was about principle. And he wasn't going to let this one slide. For 50 Cent, Trump's casual attitude wasn't just careless, it was dangerous. And he made that known in a second post, one that felt more like a warning shot than a comment. Donald doesn't take well to disrespect, and doesn't forget who chooses to go against him, he wrote. While working tirelessly to make America great again, there's no room for distraction. He would consider pardoning anyone who was being mistreated, not Puffy Daddy. The tone was deliberate. 50 wasn't just talking about a legal decision. He was calling out the possibility of favoritism in the justice system. And more than that, he seemed to be reminding Trump of who Diddy really is, not just a celebrity, but someone currently entangled in deeply serious accusations. This wasn't about old music industry beefs or ego-driven drama. For 50 Cent, this was about accountability and about making sure no amount of charm, money, or past connections could cloud what's at stake. And just to be sure his message landed, 50 let it be known that he plans to reach out to Trump personally. Because in his mind, if anyone's going to stop this pardon idea before it gains momentum, it's going to be him. The stakes here are bigger than headlines or hip-hop drama. They're rooted in some of the most disturbing allegations the music industry has seen in years. Sean Diddy Combs is currently facing 5 serious federal charges, including sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. These aren't vague accusations. They are backed by testimonies, evidence, and a federal trial that could end in life behind bars if he's convicted. Multiple individuals have come forward, including Diddy's former girlfriend Cassandra Cassie, Ventura, detailing horrific claims of abuse, violent outbursts, and even arson. The accusations paint a picture of someone who, behind the fame and luxury, may have led a far darker double life. And that's why 50 Cent is drawing a hard line. To him, this isn't about giving someone a second chance, it's about not allowing power and celebrity to become shields from justice. He sees a potential for a pardon as a threat to accountability, especially in a case this severe. With so many brave enough to speak out, he's not about to let the spotlight shift away from the real issue, the victims. But even as the courtroom battles rage on, another narrative is building online, and not everyone agrees on what should happen next. As the story gained traction, social media exploded, and just like that, the internet became a battleground. Some fans were stunned that Trump would even consider a pardon for Diddy, calling it tone-deaf given the gravity of the accusations. Others, surprisingly, sided with the idea, claiming the charges might be part of a larger takedown attempt of powerful black figures in the industry. The debate got heated fast, and 50 Cent, he watched it all unfold in real time. When media outlets began twisting his original comments suggesting he was somehow supporting the idea of a pardon, he quickly set the record straight. In a follow-up post, he fired back, "I didn't say I would nuke anything. I simply said I will make sure Trump is aware." It was clear he wasn't just trying to get clicks. He was correcting the narrative and doubling down on what mattered to him, making sure justice doesn't get buried under politics, influence, or celebrity. But the conversation kept evolving, and not everyone was convinced this was only about the law. For many, it was about power and who really holds it. And that question, it led to an even deeper layer of controversy. Beneath the public posts and courtroom headlines, a deeper battle is quietly playing out, one that's less about legal verdicts and more about influence. 50 Cent isn't just a rapper anymore. He's a media mogul, a producer, and a strategist. When he speaks especially about politics or industry figures, people listen. And with Trump eyeing a return to the presidency, every public comment takes on a new weight. By stepping in, 50 Cent isn't only warning Trump, he's positioning himself as a gatekeeper. Someone who understands both the streets and the boardrooms, and who refuses to let personal power blind anyone to the truth. He's also subtly reminding Trump and the public of the risks that come with aligning with a figure like Diddy right now, especially with federal prosecutors stacking their case and the testimonies only getting darker. It's a calculated move. 50 knows how the game works. Public perception matters just as much as legal strategy. And if Trump were to grant a pardon even hypothetically, it could set off a firestorm that neither politics nor pop culture would easily survive. But what's even more revealing is how quiet many in the industry have been. While 50 speaks up, others stay silent, either unsure of what to believe or too afraid of rocking the boat. And in that silence, 50's voice grows louder. Because to him, this isn't just about Puffy. It's about what happens when fame and power collide with serious allegations, and whether anyone has the courage to call it out. When 50 Cent speaks, it's rarely just noise. It's usually layered, strategic, and meant to make people pay attention. And in this case, his warning isn't just another celebrity beef or viral moment. It's something bigger. Unlike most artists who stay in their lane, 50 has built a reputation for speaking on everything politics, justice, culture, and doing so without backing down. He's been in public feuds, survived attempts on his life, and rebranded himself as a savvy businessman. So when he says, "Donald doesn't take well to disrespect," or "I'm gonna reach out," it's not empty talk, it's a calculated message. He knows Trump. He knows how loyalty plays a role in Trump's decisions. And more importantly, he knows how the court of public opinion can shift overnight, especially with someone as polarizing as Diddy under the microscope. 50's real message wasn't about taking sides. It was about reminding Trump that aligning with the wrong person, even as a symbolic gesture, could unravel a lot more than expected. And for viewers watching this unfold, whether they are fans of 50, critics of Diddy, or followers of Trump, the takeaway is clear. This isn't just about music, politics, or fame. It's about who get protected when power is at stake, and who's left paying the price. As Diddy's trial continues to unfold, the noise surrounding him only grows louder and the stakes have never been higher. The charges against him are serious: sex trafficking, racketeering, and more. If convicted, he could spend the rest of his life behind bars. But this isn't just about one man's downfall. It's about how the entertainment industry, politics, and power intersect in ways most people never see. 50 Cent's role in all of this is not trying to play hero. He's positioning himself as a voice of reason in a world where silence often equals complicity. He's not saying Diddy is guilty, that's for the courts to decide. What he is saying is that no one should be above consequences, especially when the accusations are this dark and this detailed. And his message to Trump wasn't just about this one case. It was a warning to be careful, to think twice before throwing his weight behind someone whose name is now tied to federal investigations and disturbing testimony. For viewers, the story isn't over. Not even close. The outcome of Diddy's trial could shake the music industry to its core. Trump's next move might change how he's perceived heading into another election season. And 50 Cent? He'll be watching and speaking every step of the way. Because in a world built on image, influence, and silence, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say what no one else will.
And the President of the United States is considering pardoning Diddy.
Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening. And I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, he sort of, that relationship busted up from what I read. I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. You know, it's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for
Apprentice, you mentioned once in 2012 that
our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me. For our country.
Yo, that was out of control. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect to hear that. But people don't know that Diddy and Trump have been friends for years. Take a look at some of these old photos. Diddy's been in President Trump's corner for years. Look at this. That outfit is nuts. Yeah, so he is really... Look, we got so many pictures. We got tons of photos. Look at this. Come on, man. So they go back. So you definitely know whose page I had to go to because I wanted to see if he said something. And lo and behold, 50 Cent definitely said something. He posted a video of Donald Trump talking about pardoning Diddy and wrote this caption. He said some really bad things about Trump. It's not okay. I'm going to reach out so he knows how I feel about this guy. Now, but people don't know that Trump and 50 Cent also go back. I'll never forget when Donald Trump pulled up to G-Unit Radio and hollered at 50 and Yayo.
You met Trump before? Yeah, I met Trump when I first got out of jail. He came to Drug Dealer Wednesdays for me and Uke before he was the president.
Yeah. See who I'm sitting next to? Donald Trump. Smell the money. Niggas, you know who you with. It's only Yayo. I never thought I'd be next to this guy, man.
Let him talk. Let him speak.
Shut up.
Let him speak. I don't think they believe he's here.
Donald Trump, you say something.
I'm here, folks. I'm here.
Whoa. Smell the money.
Great group of people.
Smell the money. Mr. Trump, are you going to buy my album June 28th?
You're going to buy all your albums?
Can you buy 10 million albums?
You buy whatever you throw at me. And I'll be first in line to buy your album.
Thank you, sir. Wow, I just want to be your friend. Well, I think 50's on your heels, Trump.
Well, he's got to be catching me pretty soon. I tell you, he's doing pretty well.
Hello? Yo, ho, where's 50 at?
That's the boss.
I'm right here. Oh, all right, 50. We got Donald Trump here.
I hear you on there with the big man.
Yeah, I told him you on his heels.
How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm fine.
Well, you know, I have some kids, and myself included, but I have kids, they think you are the best, the absolute best. Tell you, my little daughter Ivanka and my son Eric, these people, they just love your music. Wow.
Oh, man, I'm going to keep making it.
Well, you're going to keep making it. You better keep making it. I'm going to have some angry children if you don't keep making it.
Yeah.
Nice talking to you. Congratulations on the great success, man. That's amazing.
So who would have ever thought that President Donald Trump pulled up to Drug Dealer Wednesday at G-Unit Radio and told 50 Cent that he loves all his music?